What up, y'all? This your boy KevX coming to y'all with another reaction video. I know it's been a minute, man. I haven't uploaded in about 5 to 6 days, but I'm back and better. I had to get some projects done, so my apologies. So we back on a regularly scheduled program and bring y'all quality content on a daily basis. But let's talk about why you clicked on this video. In today's video, we're doing a reaction video to Joyner. It's my first time ever hearing about him. It's been buzzing all throughout my timeline. One of my homies hit me up and a text message like, yo, you gotta react to this video. Yeah, and I thought it would be pretty cool to share with you guys, because I mean the title alone is like really sensitive. I'm not racist, so I'm going into this with an open mind, and I'm gonna give my full honest opinion. I'm not gonna hold back on how I truly feel about it, because I can already get a vibe that it's gonna get pretty intense. So we're gonna dissect it together. Hopefully you guys enjoy this reaction. Without further ado, let's dive into the video, y'all.
With all due respect, I don't have pity for you black niggas. That's the way I feel. Screaming Black Lives Matter, all the black guys rather be deadbeats than pay your bills. Yelling nigga this and nigga that. Call everybody nigga and get a nigga mad. As soon as I say nigga, then everyone react and wanna swing at me and call me racist cause I ain't black.
Whew. Whoa, wow. That's really profound, because if you think about it, we use that word so freely. Like, we even refer to him as being a nigga. I mean, let's be real. Like, let's keep it a buck. Like, we'd be like, man, look at this nigga. You get what I'm saying? It's like we say it so freely, but then when they say it back to us, now it's an issue. It's a contradict in itself, because the origin of the word is not a good connotation at all. So it's kind of like it makes us look silly in a way, even though I understand that it's a word of endearment when we use it. But from the person on the outside looking in, it really does make us look hypocritical if you think about it.
Pound that then. Talking about slavery like you was around back then. Like you was picking cotton off the fucking ground back then. Like you was on the plantation getting down back then.
Now, I gotta agree with that too, because a lot of people in the black community love to make it seem as if we can relate to somebody going through the same struggle back in the 1800s or going back even further than that. When realistically, we can't relate to it. I know I can't relate to being a slave back in the 1800s. It's not even comparable, where we literally have so many opportunities set forth in front of us that they didn't have. And even if they attempted to do half the stuff that we do, they would either be killed, hung, one of the limbs would end up cut off. And that's what I'm saying. I hear a lot of people like to make it seem as if we can relate to that same struggle. Even having a voice right now on this platform, talking to you guys, that was forbidden. Anybody who had a voice back during that time, you got dealt with. That's why I'm just like, we got to cut that out, people. Like, for real. And I'm not saying everybody thinks like that, but the ones that it applies to, because I see it, I'm speaking from personal experience. I've seen it, because it's like, no, that's not realistic at all. That's a huge exaggeration.
I see a black man aiming his gun, but I'd rather see a black man claiming his son. And I don't mean just for one day and you done. I mean, you still trapped in a rut. And I work my ass off and pay my taxes for what? So you can keep living on free government assistance, food stamps for your children, but you still trying to sell them for some weed and some liquor, or a fucking babysitter while you party on the road cause you ain't got no fucking goals? You already late. You motherfuckers need to get your damn priorities straight. Wait. It's like you're proud to be fake.
But you know what? I can't even front. I've seen that firsthand. You know, during the week, your kids are at school, and now the weekend when you have that one-on-one time with your child, now you want to turn up and get ready to go out. And I'm not saying this for everybody, and I don't want nobody to make no mistake of it like I'm trying to generalize it as everybody. I'm talking to the ones that this applies to, because I already know it's going to be somebody in the comment section. Don't generalize the black community as a whole and blah, 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 the keyboard warriors. I'm not applying that to you. So I want to be clear of what I mean by that. But I've seen it, and I'm only speaking from experience. I've seen this firsthand, okay? So I know it's true that this has happened. And so it's like, you gotta look at yourselves and be like, man, am I honestly doing the best that I can do in order to be a parent? Am I? So yeah.
But you lazy as fuck. And you rather sell drugs and get a job and be straight, and then you turn around and complain about the poverty rate. Fuck out of my face!
Whew. That's another point, I'm sorry, like I have to agree with. In the black community in general, we'll sit there and make it seem as if the only option in order to be successful and survive in this community is if we sell drugs. Furthest thing from the truth, okay? Because we live in a generation of information. Google, where you literally don't even need a college degree. You can become your own entrepreneur and build your own brand and have your own business. The tools is there, the research is there, but no, what we say, no, that's too much reading, man. Ain't nobody got time for all that. Like, man, I'm trying to be out here in these streets, da-da-da-da-da-da. We have all the tools necessary to apply to seek knowledge and understanding, but you have to, as an individual, you have to go out there and find it, because ain't nobody going to tell you these things. You got to go out there and search the truth and get the information. The tools is there, but are you going to use them? You get what I'm saying? So have a solution. And I'm speaking this with passion too. Like, I see it on a day-to-day basis. And I'm only saying this because I care. Not to attack anybody or judge anybody. I'm only doing this because I honestly care and I have a deep passion for it. And I know that there's other opportunities where you don't have to settle. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people tend to settle and they get comfortable. You got to cut that out. And I'm just saying, like, yeah.
Can't escape problems. You can pray for some change, but can't break a dollar. Got nobody else to blame, so you blame Donald. They fucked the world with a Make America Great condom. Whew. My boy's been back. I'm not racist. My sister's boyfriend's black. I'm not racist. My sister-in-law's baby cousin Tracy got a brother and his girlfriend's black.
Now, I can relate to that. Now, I've heard that before, you know, no offense to my white people out there. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. Just because somebody that you're associated with that may be dating somebody who's black or whatever case may be, that's not a valid reason to say that you're not racist. Just because that individual that's in a multicultural relationship that you're either related to, that does not mean you as an individual is not racist. That's not a valid reason to say, well, I'm not racist. It's not. So to my white buddies out there, if you're trying to reassure somebody that you're not racist, that's the worst thing that you could possibly say to a black person, to say that, well, my sister's dating somebody who's black. Cut it out. That's not reassuring to let somebody know that. So, yeah.
My head's in the cloud. Heard there's not enough jobs for all the men in your house. Maybe we should build a wall to keep the Mexicans out. Or maybe we should send them all to the ghetto for now. I'm not racist. And I never lie, but I think there's a disconnect between your culture and mine. I worship the Einsteins, studied the Steve Jobs, but you ride Tupac's dick like he was a fucking god. Oh my god. Woo. And all you care about is rapping and stunting and being ratchet, and that's the nigga within you. Music right in your brain and slowly start to convince you. Then you let your kids listen and then the cycle continues. Blame it all on the menu, blame it on those drinks, blame it on everybody except for your own race. Blame it on white privileges, blame it on white kids, and just blame it on white citizens. Aim at the vice president.
Woo. Now that speaks volumes, for real, because just in general, people love to point the finger and say, it's your fault. This is the reason why I'm doing it. Don't nobody want to take accountability of their own actions as an adult, okay? We rather blame it on somebody else instead of look in the mirror and reflect on myself of what am I doing in order to help my situation? What are the actions am I taking in order to fix the situation that I'm in? Music as a whole does have an influence, because I know it's a lot of people that say, well, you know, just because I listen to this does not mean that it influences me. That's a bunch of BS, and I'm gonna tell you why. We live in a following society where people are only gonna make decisions based off of if somebody has a huge following. That's why they put specific artists or certain celebrities in front of certain products, because it helps them to buy into it and move with action. I'll give you a prime example. 21 Savage even said it himself on the Breakfast Club in an interview, where he said that if it wasn't for me rapping about ignorance, I wouldn't even be on this platform right now.
You think it'll be ever a point in time where you won't rap about that kind of stuff?
If 21 Savage didn't come out rapping about them things, who would be listening to 21 Savage?
Yeah.
Would I even be on this platform to be talking to you?
Yeah.
If it wasn't for me saying ignorance to catch people's attention?
Damn. That make me feel bad.
Yeah.
It does, you know what I'm saying? Like, it make me feel fucked up. Because I don't feel like we got you here because you promote ignorance.
Nah,
you know
but
what
I'm saying.
But that's what built your fan base. Yeah.
And even he knows consciously that he's promoting ignorance. So to say that music is not an influence is a bunch of load of crap, because it does move you. It's a form of marketing. Whether you do it subconsciously or consciously, it still affects you. And now you have kids saying, oh man, you ain't cool if you ain't doing this, that, and the third. You know, you got the dope boys glorified as if this is something cool to be. But yet their kids are listening to podcasts, learning about trades, how to invest your money, how to triple your wealth. And I understand that it's just entertainment, but you gotta be mindful of the agenda, you get what I'm saying, and how it affects you. Even if you are just listening to entertainment, at least peep game on what's going on.
Bunch of class clowns. Niggas kneeling on the field, that's a flag down. How dare you try to make demands for this money? You gon' show us some respect, you gon' stand for this country, nigga.
Whew. Hard
I'm
on.
not racist. I'm just prepared for this.
That was a bit much, though.
I heard Eminem's rap at the awards. Who's he fighting for? Y'all can take that motherfucker too. He ain't white no more. It's like you wanna be so famous. You'll do anything for attention and a little payment. I can't take you nowhere without people pointing fingers. Pants hanging off your ass. You ain't got no home training. Put your fucking pants up, nigga. Put that suit back on. Take that do-rag off. Take that goat out your mouth. Quit the pitiful stuff. And then maybe police will stop killing you. Fuck you. What the fuck? I'm not racist.
Now, I'm kind of like on the fence with that one. Don't get me wrong, I do agree that a lot of these young guys do need to pull their pants up. Like, that's not a good look. You look tacky. That's not presentable at all. But at the same time, when it comes to dress, when he said that, you know, maybe you wouldn't get shot and killed if you didn't dress the way you do. Now, that's kind of twofold in my book, because what you have on should not define your character or who you are as a person. You get what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't define certain characteristics that you display as an individual. But at the same time, what you have on, does it fit the description of what a typical criminal would wear? You get what I'm saying? So it's like, if criminals is wearing this, why would I want to be associated and have something on what a criminal would wear if I don't want to be labeled as that? So it's like, it's kind of twofold for me. I can see it from both angles where it can go either way. It's tough. It's tough.
It's like we're living in the same building but split into two floors. I'm not racist, but there's two sides to every story. I wish that I knew yours.
Let's see what my man gonna talk about from his perspective, because I can already tell that's where it's gonna go.
I wish that I knew yours. I'm not racist. With all disrespect, I don't really like you white motherfuckers. That's just where I'm at. Screaming all lives matter is a protest to my protest. What kind of shit is that?
I don't know about that one. Because how is all lives matter a protest to Black Lives Matter when all lives matter means all lives, which includes your protest of Black Lives Matter? To me, it would make more sense if the opposing side said all white lives matter and Black Lives Matter don't. You get what I'm saying? So I'd like to hear y'all opinions on this in the comment section below. I know y'all gonna hit me with something, but that's just, to me, that makes more sense. But, you know.
And that's one war you'll never win. The power in the word nigga is a different sin. We shouldn't say it, but we do, and that's just what it is. But that don't mean that you can say it just because you got nigga friends.
And I kind of agree with that, because even though the meaning and the origin behind it is not a good meaning, but at the same time, I put it like this: it's not appropriate for a person who's white, who literally designed the word for it to mean a derogatory statement, to say it. Although it still don't make any sense if you look at it from the grand scheme of things for blacks to even call each other, but we've already changed the context and we've already changed the connotation behind the word amongst each other. But at the same time, I don't agree with us referring to another white person as being a nigga or the N-word at the same time. Because if we don't want them calling us that, why should we call them that? You get what I'm saying? If that makes sense. But I get what perspective he's coming with when he says that.
Nigga. That word was originated for you to keep us under. And when we use it, we know that's just how we greet each other.
Yep.
And when you use it, we know there's a double meaning under. And even if I wasn't picking cotton physically, that don't mean I'm not affected by the history. My grandmama was a slave. That shit gets to me, and you ain't got no motherfucking sympathy, you pussy nigga.
And he just basically proved my point from earlier that as me looking at this dude got to be around like 18 or 20 years old, or if that. His grandmother was not a slave, I can tell you that right now. Now, his grandmother probably went through the Jim Crow era where she had to deal with segregation, but to go as far back to say that she was a slave, that's what I'm talking about earlier, that they try to make it the same as if we were going way, way back into the 1800s and further back into several different centuries, and it's not necessarily true. But I get the overall point of what he's trying to say, though. Don't get me wrong, I get what he's trying to say, but the way he put that in context, he just proved my point that we're trying to relate it to something that we never even experienced or seen. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, you gotta be careful with doing that, man.
I'm sorry, you can never feel my life. Trying to have faith, but I never feel alright. It's hard to elevate when this country's ran by whites, judging me by my skin color and my blackness. Trying to find a job, but ain't nobody call me back yet. Now I gotta sell drugs and put food in my cabinet. You crackers ain't slick, this is all a part of your tactics. Don't talk about no motherfucking taxes, but I ain't making no dough. You think you know everything, but you don't. You wanna copy our slang and everything that we know. Trying to steal black culture and make it your own. Whoa.
There's a thin line between flat out just stealing and showing your respect and honor it. But I've seen it where they want to indulge in certain pop culture things that goes on with black community, but at the same time, they don't want to acknowledge where they got it from. So I can see his point with that.
Fuck, I'm exhausted. I can't even drive without the cops trying to start shit. I'm tired of this systematic racism bullshit. All you do is false shit, just the shit that I'm false with. And you don't know shit about my people, that's what bothers you. You don't know about no fried chicken and no barbecue. You don't know about the two-step or no loose change. You don't know about no 2 chains or no Kool-Aid. You don't know.
And that's another thing that's very truthful. And this goes for all races. Now, I don't want to make this too much of a black and white thing, but you can't form an opinion on something that you know nothing about. If I don't know nothing about a culture, why would I try to form an opinion on something that I know nothing about? And typically, when you on the outside looking in, and I'm sorry of my white buddies, they typically don't understand, but yet they have all the answers, but yet at the same time, they don't know nothing about the culture. They don't have the information, but that's where we need to come together and learn about other people's cultures. Ask questions. Don't assume things. Ask questions and find out. We can learn from each other. You know what I'm saying? If we have that type of mindset that I can learn from you, you can learn from me, there would be no confusion. You get what I'm saying? To my understanding, there's a lot of confusion. A lot of people are fearful of something that they don't understand. So basically, we just got to keep that in mind before we pass judgment on another person. That'll solve any type of confusion that we have if we ask those initial questions. So keep that in mind, people.
And even though Barack was half as black, you hated President Obama, I know that's a fact. You can't wait to get him out and put a cracker back, and then you gave us Donald Trump, and I was payback for that. I'm not racist. I never lied, but I noticed a disconnect between your culture and mine. Yeah, I praised Tupac like he was a fucking god. He was fighting for his life way before he fucking died, nigga. Die, nigga.
Now, with that, me personally, I don't believe in worshiping and looking at no imperfect man as a god. Period. But at the same time, I will give him this point that Tupac did have a message that he was trying to convey to certain individuals. He meant well with his intent. I'll just say that. But as far as worshiping him as a god and looking up to him and giving him that much credit, nah, I wouldn't go that far.
And all you care about is money and power and being ugly, and that's the cracker within you. Hatred all in your brain and slowly start to convince you. Then you teach it to your children until the cycle continue. Blame it on Puerto Rico, blame it on OJ, blame it on everybody except for your own race. Blame it on black niggas and blame it on black citizens. Aim at the black businesses. I ain't saying I'm innocent, but
that's true too, because I have experienced that several occasions where I've talked to somebody that was white, and the first thing they tell me, they'd be like, yeah, man, you know, my parents are racist, but I'm not racist. So in essence, what that tells me is that their parents instill in them a certain mindset. And even if they're not quote unquote racist, or they don't use the word racist, they'll sit there and they'll say like, you know, we're not racist, but we think that we should just stay with our own kind. You get what I'm saying? They use certain hidden terms, sugar-coated, basically. But at the same time, and now don't get me wrong, and I understand that not every household is like that. I gotta keep putting these disclaimers out there, because I know a lot of people, you know, emotions are high, they get very, very in the moment. So it's like, no, I understand that there are individuals that it's not like that for everybody. So please, before y'all comment and say anything, but I'm talking from personal experience. I have seen this, but I understand that not everybody's like that. But we can't pretend that it don't exist, because it does.
I might be any day now, treating everybody how you want in any way how. I swear North Korea about to bomb us any day now. And now I'm ducking every time I hear a fucking plane now. Shit. You know I make a lot of sense, but you just can't admit it. When Eminem went against Trump, that was the illest. Cause even though he's white, he let us know he's standing with us. I'm not racist.
True. I'm mad YouTube deleted that video because I gave some real good commentary on that video, but that is very true. Eminem, when he did that freestyle, it let it be known that he supports the black community and he understands the struggle of what we face on a day-to-day basis. So that is definitely true.
But I cry a lot. You don't know what it's like to be in a frying pot. You don't know what it's like to mind your business and get stopped by the cops. And I know if you about to die or not. You worry about your life.
And I can speak from experience. There was a situation where I was minding my own business and it was in front of a hotel. I was waiting for the hotel to open up for the check-in time. And a cop came up to me, "What you doing around here? Blah, blah, blah." And mind you, I'm just sitting in my car minding my own business. Now, nothing escalated. Once I told him that I was just waiting for the check-in time, he kept it moving. But it's just a simple fact. It's just like, I'm not causing any disturbance. So what's the purpose of walking up to my car just because it's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm sitting in front of a hotel? So I can relate to that because I've experienced that. I've seen it firsthand. So I can relate to that.
So you take mine. I love you, but I fucking hate you at the same time. I wish we could trade shoes so we could change lives so we can understand each other more, but that'll take time. I'm not racist. It's like we living in the same building but split into both sides. I'm not racist. But there's two sides to every story and now you know mine.
So true. There's always two sides.
Can't erase the scars with a bandage. I'm hoping maybe we can come to an understanding.
And that's real, man.
Agree to disagree, we can have an understanding.
That is so real.
I'm not racist.
And that's what we pretty much need, is to talk it out. We were all humans until the race disconnected us, religion separated us, politics divided us, and wealth classified us. That's real. After watching this video, this was a very, very deep video. I already know this is going to be pretty long with me editing all of this, but this was very, very intriguing and very profound video. It was deep on a whole nother level because you guys got to understand, at the end of the day, there's only one race, and that's the human race. This skin color, all the skin tone underneath this skin, guess what? We all look exactly the same. We got the same organs, we function the same. When you look at that basic aspect of it, we all are alike. It's so stupid if you think about it to try to judge somebody based off of the skin tone. A lot of people don't understand culture differences because they're not educated on learning from each other. Like I mentioned earlier, if we learn from each other and sit down and have a conversation about certain issues and actually listen to one another, and because everybody's so focused on hear me, my word is important, and stop being so puffed up with pride and actually listen to one another and come together and realize that we are all the same, all that confusion would be dismissed. And that's why with me, I don't look at color. I judge a person by their character, if this is a good person or not. I got love for everybody, no matter what race. I don't see color. We all are one human race. Keep that in mind. So hopefully you guys really enjoyed this reaction video. Like I said, this is a pretty long video. I'm gonna have a ton of fun editing this, but yeah. So I'm hoping that my commentary and the things that I said, that you could take something from it. And I would love to hear your perspective in the comment section. Like, please, I really want to hear your thoughts on this video because I like looking at other people's perspectives and hearing what you guys think of this. Comment below, what do you think the solution is so that we can stop this division? Comment below what you believe should be the case. Make sure you hit me up on IG, Snapchat, all of my social medias will be listed below. And yeah, man, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And I'm gonna talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.